All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, we'll get started here in just a second. All right. Perfect. Okay. Oh, I guess I left that up there. Yo, what's up? Rosalind Flowers got the crown. First person. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and do a little live stream. I said I wasn't gonna do a live stream, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the live stream. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go through every question on Tuesday's test and just give you an idea of what we had to do. So let's go through it. This will be saved on the channel, obviously, so that everybody has an option here. And I forgot to bring Jeff home, so I have to write with my mouse. So let's see how that goes. All right. Let's get right to it. All right. So Ellen is excited to learn how to ski. She went to White Peaks Mountain, rented a pair of skis for $45. Okay. So she's by herself. She's renting skis for $45. That's a one-time charge. It's not going to be dependent on anything else. So we're going to just put plus 45. We know that's going to be part of the equation. Okay. Doesn't have the H with it because H is going to be the hours. Okay. So already we know it can't be this one. And we already know that it cannot be this one or this one, just from that one piece of information. But I'm going to show you the rest of it. So she took 4 hours. So it has to be 4 with the H. So it's 4 multiplied by the number of hours. And then in total, she paid $165. So there's 165. So it has to be this first option right here. That's the first question. Hey guys. Love it. Welcome. All right. Here we go. We're going on to question 2. Question 2, we're solving for n, two-step equations. All right, so this is real easy. I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this. We got n divided by 4 minus 2 equal to 2. All right, so remember what we got to do here. We got a two-step equation. First step is going to be addition or subtraction. Second step, multiplication or division. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to add 2. We're going to add 2 because it's on the side with the variable, and we want that side with the variable to only have the variable. So when we do that, this negative 2 and plus 2 disappear. We end up with n divided by 4 equal to 2 plus 2 is 4. All right, last step, we got to multiply or divide. We always do the opposite of what we see, right? So this is n divided by 4, which means I need to multiply by 4 because that's going to make this 1, and that's what we want. So on the left side, we have n by itself. Over here, we got 16. So n equals 16. There it is. Another one down. That's 2 right off the bat. Absolutely, I remember you, buddy. All right, here we go. Number 3. This one we got solving for n. Again, we got 6 this time, plus 3 times n equals 15. All All right. So once again, we got to get the n by itself. That's what we're trying to do. So we have n equals to something. So on that side where the n is, we've got a 6. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. That goes away. We have 3n equals 9. Then we divide by 3. And n equals 3. All right, another one solved and done. Two-step equations are really cool and fun. I like them. Hey guys, love it. All right, let's go to the next question. All right, so now we've got solving for h, another two-step equation. So we have 2 equals h over 3 minus 2. All right, so first step of the two-step equations is just to add the 2 here. We're going to do the opposite. That's a minus 2, so we're going to add 2. That's gone. We have h over 3 equals 2 plus 2 is 4. Again, we're dividing here, so we got to do the opposite thing, which means we're going to multiply by 3 on both sides. That makes this to 1. So h equals 3 times 4, which is 12. All right. So one more down. All right. Let's get to the next question. We're solving for z. Now we've got a multi-step equation. So we're going to switch over from our two-step equations to more than 2 steps, which means we got to go back to don't call me after midnight. So for those that not always on my channel or didn't have me as a teacher, you might want to go ahead and watch the Don't Call Me After Midnight video because it's going to show you all those steps. D is for distribution. C is for combined like terms. The first M is moving the variable to one side only. Then you have add or subtract, multiply or divide, which are the 2 steps we just got done doing. So we're going to go ahead and start by rewriting this. So we got negative 4 plus 3z equals negative 2 plus 5z. All right. So right off the bat, I don't see any parentheses here. So it does means I do not have to do the distribution step. Now, combining like terms gets a lot of students confused because they think they can just take from here and add it to there. That's not what we're doing. We don't cross that equal sign. But think about that as a barrier you just can't cross. So we're not going to combine like terms, but we do have to move the variable. So we're going to do that. The way we move the variable from one side to the other is we're going to subtract the same one from both sides. I generally choose the lower one because that way it just makes it not a negative. I just don't like negatives. So we're going to get rid of this. We have negative 4 equals negative 2 plus 2z. All right. Now we got the add or subtract step. So on the side with the variable, we're going to add 2 because negative 2 plus 2 equals 0. That's gone. This gives us negative 2 on the left side equals 2z. Our final step is to move multiply or divide. So we got 2 times z. So we're going to do the opposite. We're going to divide by 2, making that 1. So we're just left with z on the right side. On the left side, we have negative 2 divided by 2, which is just negative 1. There it is. Love the support. Appreciate that. All right. No easy around here. All right. Let's get to the next question here. Staying with multi-step equations, we got this big long one here. All right. So here we go. I took out the bottom step so we can just write right below it here. First thing we got to do is we got to go negative 4 times 17. This is going to give us negative 68 because this is our distribution step. Remember, we got don't call me after midnight. Apologize for the handwriting. I'm writing with the mouse right now, but that's the deal. So distribution happens first. This number in front must be dispersed by multiplication to everything inside the equation. So negative 4 times 17 is negative 68. Negative 4 times 1f is going to be negative 4f. And then we have this plus 6. It's just hanging out here for fun. On the other side of the equation, nothing to do. It's just negative 14. Second step, we're going to combine like terms. We're going to combine terms that look alike. So in this case, we've got negative 68 and positive 6. If we add those together, that gives us negative 62. Still have this minus 4f. And over here, we still have negative 14. Nothing changing there. Then we're going to add on the side of the variable, right? We got a negative 62, so we're going to add 62 to both sides. This goes away. We got negative 4f. And over here, we're going to have 48. Then, so we move the variable. We added or subtracted. Now we're going to multiply or divide. So this is multiplied by a negative 4. So one of the common mistakes that happens here is kids try to add 4 to this. That's not going to make this go away because this is negative 4 times f. So we have to divide to make that negative 4 go away. But if you made that mistake before, I understand it. It happens. So we divide this, makes that 1. So we're just left with 1f. Wow, that's a really weird f. I can't handle that. Let's get rid of that. All right, so we have a singular f equal to 48 divided by negative 4, which is negative 12. And that's it. That is it. So 4-step equation. Well, we did not move the variable, sorry. That's it. F equals negative 12. Pay attention to math, man. Thank you, Olivia. I appreciate that. Don't call me after midnight. All right, here we go. Let's move on to the next question, which is a one, many, or no solution question. So these are really cool. I like these. We're still going to follow our don't call me after midnight steps. And then at a certain point, we're going to recognize whether it's going to have one, many, or no solutions. We're not even going to have to do all 5 steps, which is pretty nice. All right, so the first step we're going to do, there's no distribution to be done, so we can't do that. Combining like terms, can't do that. But moving the variable, we are going to do that. So let's look at the variables here. We got negative 13h and negative 13h. So with this, because they're both the same, we'd have to add 13h to both sides. So if we do that real quick, so add 13h, add 13h, those h's are going to both become 0 because negative 13 plus 13 is 0. Negative 13 plus 13, that's 0. So what we're left with is 10 equals 19. Now, I don't know about you, but that does not seem true to me. Not equal. So because it's not equal, that means that there are no solutions, no values of h that will ever make 10 equal to 19. Nothing will ever make that true, so it is no solution. No solution. All right, let's do another one of these. All right. So again, we got don't call me after midnight. All right. So let's look at our variables. We have S's here. Can we distribute? Nope. Don't see any parentheses there. Can I combine like terms? Yes. This time I can. I have a negative 18s. I have a positive 19s. So if I combine those terms, means add them together, I end up with just one s. So I have negative 3 plus 1s equals 20 plus 1s. All right, so here's the cool thing. At this point, what you're going to do is you're going to see these two s's, right? So I'm going to just highlight them real quick. I want you to see that you've got one S here and one S here. Just like the last question where we had negative 13H. So at this point, when you see these, you should instantly be thinking it's either no solution or an infinite number of solutions. Because if we subtract S from both sides again, at this step, this is the moving the variable step, that zero, that leaves us with negative 3 equals 20. And again, there's no possible way that's going to be true. So again, we have no solution. That's it. These are easy. Easy, easy peasy. All right. Let's do another one. Another one of these one many or none. So again, we're going to write down our steps. Don't call me after midnight. All right. No distribution because I still don't see any parentheses. But again, I can combine like terms. I have a negative 16 here, which is a constant. Got negative 15 here, which is a constant. We're going to add them together. So I end up with negative 31 plus 18F equals 18F minus 14. All right. So now we're at the moving the variable step. But again, look what we see. We see 18F here. We have 18F here. So I don't know why I did this to you guys. It's pretty nice to you. But this is going to end up canceling themselves out again. And once again, we're left with negative 31, supposed to be equal to negative 14, but there's no way that's possible. So once again, no solution. Since we didn't have any infinite solutions here, what it would be is if you had at the end, say, negative 31 equals negative 31, that would be an infinite number of solutions because negative 31, of course, equals negative 31, and it doesn't matter what value you put in for the variable, it'll always be true. But since that was not the case, and I gave you 3 straight no solutions, yeah, that was pretty simple, I think. All right. Let's go on to the next one. We're almost there. Got like 6 or 7 more. Just, 6 or 7 more questions to go. Here we go. So first we got a 2-step inequality. So we're going to solve these just like equations, just with 2 steps. Most of them are going to be pretty simple. There's a couple things we got to watch out for, but here we go. Looking on the side of the variable, we got plus 9. So we're going to go subtract 9 on both sides. That leaves me with 2y greater than or equal to negative 2. Then we have to divide by 2. And this is y greater than or equal to negative 1. And that's the answer. Super duper easy. Okay. Let's go ahead and go to the next question. Six, 7. All right. Let's do the next question here. We got another 2-step inequality. So again, on the side of the variable, we got a minus 9. So we're going to go ahead and add 9 to both sides here to get rid of that negative 9. When we do that, we have negative 4a less than or equal to positive 4. Then we're going to divide by negative 4, which makes that 1. But this time, we have to do something a little different. So I still have an a here. 4 divided by negative 4. Well, I got to fix that a. That's a crazy a. All right, let's fix that a. There we go. Oh, my goodness. Drawing with a mouse is really hard. Okay, 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. But here's the thing. This is important right here. See how we're dividing by a negative number? With inequalities, if you divide or multiply by a negative, you must change the sign. Okay, it's got to go flip the other direction. So since this is less than or equal to, we're going to make it greater than or equal to, and that would be the answer. So that's the big deal right there. We flip the sign over and it goes the opposite direction. All right. 6, 7. Somebody asked for that. Vocab? What vocab are you talking about? Okay. Anyway, here we go. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty here, getting towards the end. All right. Once again, we have another two-step inequality. So on the side of the variable, we're going to go ahead and add 4 on both sides. That becomes 0. That's 7f is less than -7. We're going to divide by 7. All right, then I've got f is less than -1, and we are done. Again, that's a crazy f. I don't like that f. Let's fix it.
Night.
Good night, Rachel.
You call your students?
I'm doing a live right now.
You doing live on your channel?
Yep.
Your channel?
Yes, on the channel. But you're going to come over and say hi? This is my daughter.
Okay.
Little decimal. Bye, little decimal. Goodbye. Good night. All right. So, anyway. All right, guys. We got a few more left here. 3 more questions. These are all about graphing the inequalities. First, we got to solve it. Then we're going to graph it. So here we go. So we're going to go rewrite it for us. 1 less than or equal to -2 minus d. All right. So again, like we did all the other ones, we're going to add 2 here because it's on the side of the variable. That leaves us with 3 on the left side, less than or equal to -d. Remember that even though you don't see a letter or a number here in front of the d, there's always that invisible 1 that we don't see. So we're going to divide by -1 here. So now we have the positive d over here. This is going to be -3. But because we divided by a negative, we have to flip the sign. So it's going to be greater than or equal to. But to make ourselves be able to see this a little bit easier, we really want the d or the variable on the left side. So we're going to flip it over one more time. So d here, -3 here. But again, when we flip the sides, we have to flip the inequality. So it comes back to this. And that's the equation. But now we have to graph it. So if we have less than or greater than without the line under it making it equal, then we have to put an open circle. But since this is a underlined, right, so less than or equal to, we're going to put a solid dot. So we're going to go at -3 because that's what we got. You're going to put in a solid filled in dot. Okay. Then you have to pick the direction. So we're looking for numbers that are less than or equal to -3. So you can find a point on each side of that dot and see if it makes the statement true. So I like to go to the positive numbers because that makes things easier. So if I go to 3, is 3 less than -3? Obviously not. So we're going to go to the left. This is where all the answers are. All these numbers are less than -3. Easy peasy. I feel like I'm saying that a lot. I'm not going to say it anymore. All right. Let's go ahead and go to another one of these. Again, I'll rewrite it for us. We got u divided by 2 plus 10 greater than 9. So we're going to subtract 10 from both sides. We got u divided by 2 greater than -1. Then we're going to, since this is division, we're going to multiply by 2. 2's are gone. That just becomes 1. So we have u greater than -2. Now, I didn't flip the sign because when I divided or multiplied in this case, it was not a negative. It was a positive 2. So I don't have the underline here, so it's not equal to. So at -2, which is what we got, I'm going to do an open circle. Now we got to find the numbers that are greater than -2. So again, I'm going to come from the positives. Is 2 greater than -2? Yes. So that means I'm going to go this way, and it goes off to infinity. It goes for all the positive numbers. All those numbers on that side are going to be greater than -2. All right, guys, last question. Last one. We're almost there. All right. So we got 62 less than or equal to 30f minus 58. Okay. So again, we're on the variable side, so we're going to add 58 to both sides. (62 plus 58 is 120. Less than or equal to 30f. Okay, we're going to divide by 30. And then I have f on this side. And we have 4 over here. But again, f is on the wrong side. It's not where it makes it easy for us to figure out. So we're going to flip it and make f over on the left side. We flip the inequality to make it greater than, and we put our 4. So let's go to our 4. It does have the line underneath it, which means it's equal to as well. So we put a solid dot. Okay, solid dot. And we got to find the numbers that are greater than 4. So let's just find something like 0. Is 0 greater than 4? No. Is 5 greater than 4? Yes. So we're going to go to the right. And that number, again, will just go to infinity. So we just put an arrow, meaning it goes forever. I'm going to fix it a little bit because I don't like that. So this goes this way. And again, it goes forever. So all those numbers that direction are going to be greater than. So yeah, that is every question on the test. So if you have some remediation to do, definitely take a look at this video. Hopefully it helps you. And yeah, good luck, guys. And as I like to say in these videos, keep the mathing. Have a good night.